my God.
Wow.
Let's bring it back in. Welcome to the chaos. I am Laura Nicole. This is Cold Reads, brought to you by Resonant Audiobook Solutions. And I'm trying out a new mic because I wanted to, I want to up my game as far as audio goes. And so I got a new microphone. I think it's nice. I like the headphones. They fit nice on my ears, which is very important for audio editing. Let me tell you. Close this. Anyway, so this week, so last week was an interesting. It was awesome. I had new people on the show. I had all people of color on the show except for me, and I got to feel really uncomfortable. It was amazing. Also, genre, you need to bring on Cinna again because her voice is amazing.
I keep telling her that.
I need her to come back.
She's so good. Her voice is so unique and awesome.
And here's the thing. So, genre, your first bit of voice acting, so you say, was on this show. Now,
Yes.
Cinna's been on this show as her first time. Andy was on this show. Was her first time doing voice acting. But she does a live Twitch stream on Mondays. So there's
she's got a regular schedule?
Oh yeah, she's doing it on Mondays.
Nice. I do not have a regular schedule at all. I'm like, I'm gonna play a game. You want to watch? Okay.
Well, you have your radio show, so there's
True.
that. And we do have a couple of people who have reached out to me for being on this show. And so unfortunately they weren't able to make it today. And we were also going to have Julia Ellingbo Bond Ellingbo on the show. But life happens. It's understandable. Hopefully we'll get them at another time. But thankfully I have John Roberts, as we've heard.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Also, I want to let you know, genre, that on the stream that's going to YouTube, your correct icon is showing.
Which one is that?
The press start to continue.
Yep. Okay.
So it works. it works.
It doesn't show up on mine.
I don't know what to tell you, but anyway.
I don't care. Whatever. Gotta get that branding, Gotta get that out there.
Absolutely. So, genre, tell everybody what you do.
Well, I am the programming and operations director at Valley for Radio. It's WXOJLP 103.3 FM in Northampton, valleyforradio.org. I also run a couple shows on there, Press Start to Continue and Civil Politics. And I am going to be, I blame you. I'm going to be on a podcast. I got a voice part.
No, that's an audio drama, dear.
An audio drama. I'm going to be on an audio drama.
I accept that.
I'm new. But I got an actual part with like a bunch of lines. And it's called Seminar. It's going to be on episode 80.
On Pendant Audio, right?
Yes, Pendant Audio.
I'm so proud of you. He's grown up so fast. And
sunrise, sunset.
Sunrise, sunset. Oh man, if I had started singing last week, I would have been like, sunrise, sunset, because I had awful cold. It is mostly gone now.
I'm so happy.
Oh, speaking of which, hey, Papa San, how you doing?
I'm good.
Tell everybody who you are and what you do.
I'm Alan Spencer, sysadmin by day, audio drama writer and scriptwriter by night. I'm currently the owner and producer of everything at Crooked Beak Audio, and you can hear my stuff at Broken Sea and Circus 13, which we just released a brand new show last month on Circus 13. So go listen.
Exciting stuff. And I do, I guess I should say that on top of being the owner and operator of Resonant Moon Audiobook Solutions, I got a new job. It's so exciting.
Yay!
I did. And guess what I'm doing?
What?
I'm doing social media,
Say it isn't so.
like professionally, and
My
like
God.
using my freaking degree.
Internet.
You have a degree in
been
social
warned.
media?
I have a degree in radio, video, broadcasting, and publication.
Crazy.
And I have a business technical writing degree with focuses in social media. So
Wait, you're doing a job in your chosen profession?
I know, right?
That's insane. This is 2017. That doesn't happen.
It's like 11 years after I got my degree, but whatevs, you know.
Do not touch your dial. You have not left your senses. You are only entering the Twilight Zone.
Okay. R2D2 is with me because I felt like wearing a Christmas shirt. And my father will be so proud of me. This is a lovely concoction I just made.
Yes.
And I'm calling it the Sweet Burn.
Mm-hmm.
And it is equal parts bourbon and Di Serono.
Oh my!
With an ice cube in it.
So bourbon and amaretto, huh?
I think it might be better with a touch of Fireball.
Are you high enough level to cast that?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I cast light into the darkness. I cast Fireball into the darkness and look for my Cheetos.
Hey, can I have a 7-Up? Yes, it's in the fridge. Duh.
He has gray eyes. Let me see your character sheet.
Well, it says blue, but I wanted them to have gray.
I wanted to have gray eyes. Oh my God, we're so old school
Hey,
gamers.
I'm in the bar getting drunk.
If there are any girls there, I want to do them.
They turn around and leave.
That's totally my character right there. I have a D&D character named Weasel who is a gnome and a cleric to a trickster goddess and a lesbian and totally just enamored of anything that is female. And she got very confused recently when she met a very androgynous male elf who was making her blush in all sorts of weird ways, and she was so confused.
I feel weird in my bits.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Remember, you started this. I got to tell you this quick joke. We're long.
Oh God.
Yes, please.
I ran a D&D campaign where we had a gnome who was constantly doing little things, but would leave the paladin alone. Well, all of a sudden, the paladin is riding into this town, and the people are cheering him. And he just thinks it's because of his goodness. And so he's sort of waving and everything else until he turns around and looks. And the gnome has tied a pair of women's underwear on the tail of his warhorse. So they're all cheering the paladin because he has this lingerie hanging from his warhorse. And the gnome is just losing it.
I do love playing gnomes because they play tricks and pranks and stuff. I think the most epic prank I have played as a gnome was feeding my party magic mushrooms for breakfast. With
Like
their
literally
with
magic or
Shrooms.
psychedelic shrooms with a dragon's egg, and the dragon was very upset with me for stealing the egg and then cooking it and feeding it to my friends.
I'm sure.
Whoopsie.
Oh no.
Okay, so
Slash tail.
Why are we here?
I forgot, but so let's come back. This story that we're gonna read this week is a little bit shorter. So that's why I didn't mind talking about D&D, because as you all know, one of the things I talk about most on my Twitter feed is D&D. On my Facebook page is D&D. I might have a problem.
That sounds
anyway,
like a solution. I don't know.
It's awesome. I blame
call
my
it
dad.
dedication.
I blame my dad for everything that's happening right now.
Uh-huh.
He got me into voice acting. He got me into D&D. Basically, my dad's a gateway drug.
So I should blame him.
Make a
Not
saving
you.
throw.
Oh, where's my D20? I'm going to show you how BAMF I am. This box I inherited from my great-grandmother. It's probably about 100 years old. And in it are all my lucky dice.
They're all the same color.
No, they're not.
Dude, I can't tell.
The lighting is terrible in here.
I see.
Anyway, I'm not going to roll a saving throw. I fail. And that's that. So we are going to read a story today that was written by the Melting Podcast's AF Grappin. I always say it wrong. He's Gus. And Gus wrote a story. I'm not sure if he wrote it specifically for the show. Maybe he can tell us in the comments. But I'm very excited about it. And it is for 3 people, a narrator, a male part, and a female part. And since I am the only female here, I will take the female part. And it fits me so well, so I would have taken it anyway.
Ooh.
So you two get to tell me who wants to read the narration and who wants to be the part of Gilbert.
Narrator.
RPS? Okay, then there you go.
Dad wins. All right, so Alan is going to be the narrator. I am going to be Mona, which funnily enough is one of my aunt's names. And Jamra, you are going to be Gilbert.
I don't really eat grapes, though.
Well, nothing's going to eat you. Because remember, it's what's eating Gilbert Grape.
Oh. She logicked me again.
Watch out for the gluttonous cube in the room behind her.
Oh, no, she's in her crate.
Oh, okay.
All right, so Alan, whenever you are ready, we can go ahead and get started.
I need the doc.
Oh, I sent it to you in Facebook.
Well, I'm
the same place that I sent you the link for this thing.
I got the thing from the link from the email, not that. Okay, hang on.
Both of you go to your Facebook.
I have it all set. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
No.
Donde de casa de Pepe?
Whoa. So why don't you tell me about my character?
So
while we're waiting.
So Gilbert is a sophomore in college, and he was looking for an easy A, and so he decided to take a social dance class. He thinks it's going to be an easy A, so he doesn't take it that seriously. My character, Mona, is very serious about dance. And I believe she is also a sophomore in college. And she is very determined to do well in this class. And that is all I can tell you. So, Alan, now that you have your script ready, I'm going to go ahead and share it, as I always do, because I almost forgot that that's a thing I do. Present to everyone. Okay, and whenever you are ready.
Only Fruits Take Dance Classes by A.F. Grappin. It wasn't so much as a tango as it was a pair of uncoordinated, 2 left-footed 14-year-olds having epileptic seizures on my dance floor. That's what the note said on Mr. Gilbert's progress report. Mr. White's handwriting, of course, was impeccable, exactly the opposite of the tango he mentioned. Gilbert looked up forlornly at his dance partner, Mona, waiting for her reaction. A thought flickered across his mind. Had Mr. White written the exact same thing, word for word, on Mona's report as well? Sure enough, Mona was tight-lipped with displeasure when she resurfaced from her report.
Uncoordinated?
She scoffed.
He called us uncoordinated.
That's what you got upset about?
Gilbert asked.
Mona, he called us 14-year-olds.
Eyes widening with the offense, Mona dove back into her report. It only took her a second to find the new insulting bit and crumpled up the paper in anger.
14-year-old my ass. Who does he think we are?
Gilbert suppressed an urge to say,
Uncoordinated, two left-footed 14-year-olds.
and instead gave a non-committal shrug.
We'll show him. We're going to practice so hard that self-appointed guru of the mobile arts will have to admit that we're better than he is. And he'll acknowledge our proper ages, too.
And when exactly will we be doing all this practicing?
Gilbert asked.
I mean, we're college sophomores. It's not like we have free time out the wazoo. I only took social dance because I thought it would be an easy elective. I have homework, projects, labs. I want to be a teaching assistant one day. I have to put in time with my professors to even be considered for something like that.
If it's important, you make time.
Mona said, as if it were the law by which the whole universe ran. Gilbert shook his head.
There are only 24 hours in a day, and I can't waste a ton of it traipsing back and forth to this building for dance practice. I just want to pass. I don't care if I'm the best in the world or even in the class. It's a general education requirement. That's all for me.
Mona harumphed.
Some partner you are.
Look, I'm sorry. It's just not that important to me.
Gilbert, he called us 14-year-olds.
Halfway to turning away from her, Gilbert stopped.
And he can call her whatever he wants. Doesn't make it true.
He finished his turn and started heading for his dormitory.
You coward! You lazy son of a...
Mona trailed off before she uttered the curse word.
You apricot.
Gilbert wasn't sure what she was calling him a stone fruit was supposed to do to hurt his feelings, but he let it go. She could call him whatever she wanted, but like he said, that didn't make it true. A few days later, Gilbert headed to the social dance class, feeling more than a little guilty for his conversation with Mona the last time he had seen her. He'd come across as an uncaring student who was only there because he had to be. So what if it was true? He could have been nicer. Doing well was clearly important to her. There was something very different about Mona that day. Gilbert found himself pulled along the moment the music began. Though he was positioned to lead the dance, Mona was the one doing it, and she was, at least to Gilbert's knowledge, doing so expertly. He found himself caught up in a tight footwork, perfect rhythm, and once supporting Mona in a dip that would have been quite a showstopper at a competitive floor.
You've been practicing a lot,
he murmured when the first dance was over.
You look nice today, too,
he added. He hadn't been sure if he was supposed to comment on Mona's smoldering attire, but he couldn't keep his eyes away anymore. Mona only gave him a smile and led him into the next dance.
I'm sorry for what I said the other day.
Gilbert muttered as she effortlessly made him move the way she wanted him to.
You should be,
she replied.
I'm not sorry for calling you an apricot.
About that, what is that even supposed to mean?
Mona shrugged elegant shoulders, making the slinky fabric of her dress shift ever so nicely over her skin.
I'm still not convinced you really care. If we get a passing grade after this, it's because of my effort, not yours.
How did you get so good so fast? It's only been 3 days.
Her lips tightened.
Practice.
Gilbert was no psychology major, but even he could tell she was lying.
Seriously, what did you do?
She drew herself up and somehow made Gilbert put her into a spin. It didn't make him forget his question, though. Once she was back in hold, he asked again.
Fine. I went to the alternative sciences building and asked for some help.
Gilbert felt his eyes try to pop out of his head.
You mean the occult students? You went to the occult students?
One of the professors, actually. She was quite nice. Sprinkled some sort of powder on me. All I had to do was say, "I'm a fantastic dancer" 3 times, and it became true. But she said if I said it 3 more times, it would go away.
She glared at him.
You just made me say it one of those 3 times. Don't you dare ask anything else.
Gilbert zipped his lip and kept dancing. The rest of the semester passed with Mona becoming a star of the class. In her grips, Gilbert found himself facing not only a passing grade, but maybe an A that would boost his overall grade point average. He could definitely deal with that. The week before finals, Gilbert ventured to have a real conversation with Mona again. He'd hardly spoken for her for the last month of classes, but he couldn't stay silent anymore. Their dancing had earned more than a few approving nods from Mr. White. Gilbert had to thank her.
Mona, hey!
He called after her one day. She turned to look at him without a word.
Hey, I wanted to thank you for helping me bring up my grade up in social dance. I know that occult stuff was weird, but we've really got a shot at a really good final exam. It's all thanks to you. So, yeah, thanks.
She let out a soft sigh.
I didn't do it for you, Gilbert. This is still only a grade for you, isn't it? You don't care about dancing at all. You really are an apricot.
There was a strange popping sound, like a huge cork being ejected from a giant champagne bottle. Gilbert felt small, smaller than he ever had been in his life. And suddenly he was falling. The sidewalk was rushing up to meet him. He didn't understand. Had Mona punched him? His face didn't hurt. In fact, his face didn't feel much of anything. He tried to put his hands out to break his fall, but they wouldn't respond. Neither would his legs. He struck the concrete so hard he could feel the bruise immediately begin to form. His insides felt stony. Far above him, Mona stared down.
Huh. I guess that was 3 times.
She said, bending down to help him up. Instead, she picked him up bodily, but Gilbert realized he didn't even take up her whole palm. She lifted him to her mouth, and her teeth sank into his flesh.
Wow. You're quite the delicious apricot, Gilbert.
Mona said, continuing her walk across campus.
Dude, what?
Right?
What? What?
It was awesome.
Dude, what? Listen,
Nice.
I hope you have Explosion Expert in your skills list because you blew my mind.
I want to see what he's saying now. Because even though Gus could not be here right now, he did say he was going to be tuning in. So let's see if he's in the chat at all. And if not, that's okay. Oh, he says, "I'm almost home. Keep stalling."
Gus, dude, what? Dude, what?
Oh man. I mean,
A lovely twisty tiny part. Yes. It's so fruity.
did any of you did either of you like think about that possibly being a thing once the occult was mentioned?
Oh yeah, totally. That's something. No.
It's a weird insult, but at the same time, it's like, oh yeah, I guess. Hey,
There he is.
Is this
Hey
Gus?
guys, this is me.
Dude, what?
You're an apricot.
What?
Oh man, you
What?
showed up right in the nick of time too.
Oh yeah, I was listening in the car on the way here.
So fleshy, so fleshy.
So, what did you think of our portrayal of your story?
Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you so much, guys.
um, I also liked I don't know if you caught it, but genre, what did you ask if Gus had in his resume?
It was like explosion something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked her if she had explosions expert, and he points an explosions expert because she blew my mind.
I didn't blow your mind. I didn't write it.
Clearly, you have a subclass, sir. Just friggin' 3 levels in a chemical or something.
So, Gus,
Yeah.
when did you write this story?
I wrote this not long after you put out the call for short stories for cold reads.
Nice.
Yeah, so I did write this for you guys.
Aw, I feel so loved.
Well, and what was funny is I was like, okay, I need to write a short story. And sometimes I'd like just going on Facebook and saying, hey, just throw me words. I'm going to grab some of them. I'm going to make a story out of it. I did a story that was on Metis Pod that I did that for, and that story I loved. And then this one, the words I'm wanting to say, I know apricot was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think tango was one, and I don't remember what the third one was.
I think I gave you tango.
I think you gave me tango.
Actually, no, I gave you tango and apricot because I
Did you?
remember that I was eating an apricot at the time.
I love apricots.
Yeah. And I watch a lot of Dancing with the Stars.
Now
Well,
I
yeah.
don't.
I'm actually looking. I'm looking at my profile, see if I can find where it was. 'Cause what third word was?
Jesus.
So while you're looking that up, I do want to let people know that we are accepting stories for cold reads. And I have started doing a thing where once or twice a week, I'm going to put out a writing prompt. So the writing prompt that I just put out yesterday was you meet some of the strangest people in the elevator. And this comes from me now working in a building where I have to ride the elevator to the 15th floor.
Fun.
And and I also remember like at conventions when people are in costume, it can be very interesting when you step into an elevator and oh look, there's a Dalek right there, or oh look, there is a dragon lady there. You know, it's I feel like that's a good writing prompt.
Then there's that strange person standing in the corner smiling real big, and as soon as the doors close goes, I've got on new socks.
That's usually me, and I actually what I do is I lean in real close and go, I've got new socks on.
So, Dad, you're gonna write me that story, right?
Yeah, so when it goes, the doors close and goes, I need a new host.
4 pages or less.
I just looked this up. The 3 random words that I pulled out of the pile are apricot, guru, and tango, and it looks like they came from Michael Corley, Aaron Kazmark, and James Meltzer, according to. Yeah.
So I didn't do any of them.
You didn't.
Wow.
Well, you read it. You read it.
I did.
You got to be Mona.
I did. So yeah, I'm gonna start putting up some writing prompts to see if people will write a short story for us. Because well, I know it's NaNoWriMo this month, and everybody who is participating, I wish you enormous amounts of luck and perseverance, because that's really what makes NaNoWriMo work is perseverance.
Grind those experience points.
Or words, you know. And
Wait. We were talking about grinding? What?
Not grinding like XP, not like grinding on a dance floor, okay?
Yeah, you have to grind to get the the legendary NaNoWriMo award, right? I mean,
yeah.
Now I'm going into MMOs.
I now have 2 NaNoWriMos. Oh, Gus, you have 5?
But I haven't done it in about 3 years.
I haven't either.
And actually,
I've started, and then I'm just like, nope.
Of those,
how you get 200 pages
Hang on. Of those 5, at least 2 were doubles, and one of them was almost a triple.
Wow.
I write fast, but it wasn't quality, which is why I stopped.
So for those of you who don't know, NaNoWriMo is a challenge against yourself to write 50,000 words during the month of November. So from November 1st to November 30th, the goal is to write about 1,667 words per day, I go for 1,700. And that's just so that I have a buffer so I can have a weekend because of things. But I'm not doing it this year. Maybe next year. Because this year there's too much new going on, and then sick dog. So yeah. But sick dog is getting better.
Yay.
Yay.
So we have reached the end of this show. However, I would like to give all of my guests an opportunity to say once again who they are and where we can find them on the internet. And we will start with our author guest who came in at the last minute for a Hail Mary save to talk about this story. So, Mr. Grappin, where can people find you?
You can find me at facebook.com/afgrappin, at afgrappin.com, on Twitter at afgrappin. I'll give you one guess what my email is.
afgrappin@gmail.com?
For those of you wondering, it's
Don't say it one more time.
It's AFGRAPPIN. You can find me also at The Melting Potcast. We have a Facebook page as well. And if you like shiny things, at thechainnerd.com.
And we have all of those links in the show notes. Genre, where can people find you online?
Let's see. I run a couple radio shows that are also on podcasts. Press Start to Continue, which is video game remixes and nerdcore hip hop. This coming Monday, I actually have an interview with an artist named Schematist who did this wonderful album called Anareel about that follows a woman that is recovering from child abuse, and it's really, really interesting. So schematist.bandcamp.com. I'm going to just throw that out there. Also, I run Civil Politics, which is a political podcast. We talk about stuff. And if you can find all the stuff that I'm doing, links to all of it at planetside.pro. There's like 4 podcasts there.
And Alan, Papa-san, where can I find you online?
Well, here, there, and everywhere. But you can find me at crookedbeakaudio.com and email me at alan@crookedbeakaudio.com. You can find me at the same place on Facebook. You can find some of my works at Circus 13 Productions, which we just did a show last month called On Edge. Definitely worth going to listen to because Morte did an outstanding job.
That is Maestro Morte McAdiver.
Yes.
I can say it right when he's not here.
Let's see. Also, you can find some of my older works at Broken Sea Audio Productions. And look for new stuff coming up in the next year. There's actually a new show that I've written that is in production at Broken Sea. I was just the author, so.
And guess who else is in it?
Dolka?
This girl. And Press Start to Continue.
Close. What?
You're in it.
I'm in what?
You're in the Thorn Chronicles.
That one. Yes.
Oh, and Gus is in it. Hey, we're all in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, that's
I have a part in it. Yes.
I had 2 lines.
I beat
What had John your hand?
I had 4, but they were all the same thing. They used to say it 4 times. So I don't know who wins.
and I have more lines, and I get to.
You have scores more lines.
I was so excited to be this part. I'm not going to tell you what part I was.
She did really well when she was practicing, and I was there.
Oh my god.
It sounded so good.
Dude.
I'm looking forward to listening to it.
Yeah. Me too. Because I want to hear all of it together.
Especially since I don't have to engineer it this time.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And if any of you are wondering projects that I'm working on currently, I'm currently working with the author Seth Harwood on getting some of his books onto Audible.
Sweet.
Which is very exciting because he's up there with Scott Sigler and T. Morris and P.G. Holyfield as some of the first podcast novelists. So I'm really excited that I get to work with him now. It's super exciting.
Can I get a squee?
My voice is still coming back at post cold.
That's like a 4.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
what you get for eating apricots mid-story.
Yeah, really.
I mean,
Oh my god, that's the 3rd time. Oh god.
Oh, Munchkin's an apricot now. Sorry.
Aw.
I'm just laying on the floor. Why am
Yeah,
I
where'd
laying on the floor?
Where'd my cat go? Why do I suddenly have fruit?
Why is my dog coming to lick me? No!
Oh my
no,
god, I just
am
realized
not
that
a
he was
fruit.
still conscious. He was still conscious as he was getting eaten. What the
Now
hell? What is wrong with you, sir?
Now I have to wonder, like, how much consciousness he would have before he was would he still have consciousness as he was consumed? Is the consciousness in the stone of the apricot, or is it the whole thing? Does he die after?
I would say he's probably contained within the stone. It would be my
he
guess.
Be replanted.
But
and then if he's replanted, does he come back as a human?
we have a gill tree.
What,
Or it'd
would
be
he
a
be
Gilbert tree.
planted,
Oh
or
my
she
God.
just like
This is
throw
a-
the pit across a parking lot, and then it's sort of like foosball through the parking lot for a
This
while?
is a prequel to the Giving Tree, isn't it?
Exactly. All right. So I do need to let you all know. I have ice in my mouth. Am I drinking?
Oh, thanks for letting us
One
know.
ice cube.
I needed to know that.
Yes. Well, I couldn't talk for a second. Anyway, you can find out more about Resonant Moon Audiobook Solutions at resonantmoon.com. You can follow me on Twitter at lnicoleaudio. You can also send me an email if you would like to be a voice on this show, or if you would like to submit a short story for the show. The email is lauranicoleaudio@gmail.com. That's LauraNicoleaudio. I can almost do that to the Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse,
dog.
yeah, that's where my brain was.
Wait a minute. That's not how you spell apricot.
And you can follow us on Facebook. I have casting calls there all the time. I do the writing prompts that I was talking about. That is facebook.com/groups/cold reads. This work is covered under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 4.0 International License. What that means is that you can download it, you can share it, you can retweet it, blog it. Just don't edit it or sell it. It is perfect the way it is. Just like you. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to all of my guests for being here tonight. And we will be back in 2 weeks with more cold reads. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good
Good
night.
night,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
Good night.